Welcome, Action Catalyst listeners, to Overtime with Outland. In this Overtime with Outland, we are talking about episode 411 with the Joan Cronan, Athletic Director Emeritus and Pat Summit Leadership Group Advisory Board Chairman. In our episode with Joan, Joan mentions a great quote from Jerry Jones that she heard directly from him, where he said, "A definition of a leader is a person with a vision and a sphere of influence to make it happen." I thought this was so poignant because it was such a big piece that played a role in Joan's career and life, is the ability to create and cultivate a sphere of influence that made a difference. For Joan, in the world of being an athletic director, that meant using that sphere of influence with the governor of the state. That meant using that sphere of influence with the administration to raise money to be able to support the programs that she oversaw and to support Pat Summit in particular in their pathway to becoming champions over and over and over again. So for her, that quote was so meaningful because to be a great leader, you can't really accomplish much without other people. And for her, those people she had to bring into her sphere of influence. So a good application for this point, team, is think about your sphere of influence. Think about the people that are in there that can contribute to the goals and the vision and the things that you want to accomplish as a leader, as an individual. And think of the people that aren't in that sphere of influence yet, if you're going to realize your vision for what you want to accomplish. Who are those people this year that you can attract into your sphere of influence? And who are the people who are in that sphere of influence that you need to have conversation with to bring that vision to life? The next thing Joan brings up in her episode that I feel is really great is how she defines success herself. Now, we all have different definitions for the word success, and it's really important to get clear on what your definition for the word success is. For Joan, success for her was in making a difference in people's lives. That for her was success, and it fit perfectly in her role as an AD for female athletes. For her, seeing Title IX take place to actually encourage female athletics all over the country was a major change in accomplishment. So the question comes to you. How do you define the word success? And getting clarity on that, what are you doing to move the needle in success in your life? Lastly, she said, Peyton Manning, more than anybody, represents his success through his attention to detail. That was the strength that he brought. Dolly Parton, part of her success was willing to give back to others. She had this willingness to always give, and that drove a lot of her actions in her life in what she became really well known for. And for Pat Summit, it was humility. One of the things she always reflects back on, and it's something we ought to reflect back on as well, is how can we internalize those same three things in our life? Humility, an attention to detail, and a willingness to give back. So this week, ask yourself, how can I have a little bit more humility in my day and in my week? What does it look like for me to have just a bit more attention to detail, to sharpen that sword, just like Peyton Manning? And lastly, what can you do to give back to others? I think with these principles and these notes, we can apply great lessons and have a little bit of a difference in our own lives. If you want to hear more of Joan's story and unpack more lessons from that episode, check out episode 411, The View from the Summit.